Hi everybody, it's Oni. Welcome to part 1 to What If DEKU Saved Elsa from Fairy Tale. If you guys would actually like to see more of this in the nearby future, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe because we want to get around about 5k before the end of the year, and that will be appreciated. Or if you guys want to see part 2 of this video, get the video to around about 70 likes and you guys will get the next part out as soon as possible. And also make sure to keep updated with my community tab. We post polls and images of future videos that are going to come out in the later future. I do hope you all enjoy this video, and goodbye. We're going to go into the far future in Izuku's last year of high school and his last year into his hero commission, or his hero mission, to become the #1 hero. As Izuku was walking around the city with fellow hero Mirako. I know you all are going to say, yeah, she's a cripple, she's got no arms and legs. But this is an alternate universe, so in this turn, she does have her arms and legs. As Izuku and Mirako were both walking together, until Izuku sensed something down an alleyway, as he rushed down as fast as he could, to only see a red-headed girl crying in a corner, arms and legs cropped up in the fetal position. As Izuku went up to her gently and put a hand on her shoulder, asked if she was okay. But in response, Izuku got it almost sore to his throat, almost getting his throat slit in the process. "What's the matter?" Izuku said, as the girl kept on swinging her sword, until Izuku finally had enough, as he used Black Whip to detain her, as the only thing that she could do was scream and shout, telling him to let her go. She's done nothing wrong to him. She didn't want to get kidnapped again and thrown in the back of a van, or any form of torture, she said. As Izuku got down to eye level with her, as the only thing he could do was pat her on the head and tell her everything would be fine, because he was here, as she threw her the biggest smile he could possibly muster at that time. As Izuku made her calm enough to be able to get out of the alleyway unscathed. As the moment they got out of the alleyway, Izuku was greeted by Mirako, saying, "Is everything okay?" But when Mirako looked over at the red-headed girl, she recognized her as the missing girl report that was up about a year ago. As Mirako ran over to her, asking if everything was okay, but as the red-headed girl was reaching for her sword again, Izuku grabbed it, as he calmed her down once more. "It's okay. No need to worry. I'll stay by your side, okay?" Izuku said, as she just nodded. As Izuku, the red-headed girl in mystery, and Mirako both went to the police station to get any information they could about where this girl has been. An hour passed as they finally got the blood test back. Okay, it seems that her name is ERAZ. Her quirk is manifestal armor, where she's able to create any armor that she wants out of thin air with any form of ability that she chooses. That doesn't help us with much, but okay, why'd she go missing? It seems that she got kidnapped when she was around 15. She is 16 now, but there is downsides to this. We have no clue what they've done to her, or any form of it. We have done experience testing on her, and turns out she's got a massive scar underneath her liver, kidney, and under her arm. It seems that if we're correct, it seems that they've gotten rid of some of her liver, kidneys, or any form of it, as the policeman said. So is able to get scans? Sorry, we can't get that. It's going to be a little bit pricey though, the policeman said. You'll be fine, as Mirako pulled out a wad of cash out of her pocket. Do the testing, now, she said. As the testing was commenced, ERAZ couldn't stand still, but Izuku managed to stay with her, no matter the cost. He said he wanted to make everyone smile, and that's what he would do. As all the testing finished, as the doctors came back with the results of ERAZ's kidneys still being intact, the same with her liver, spinal fluid, everything of it's normal, but there is something inarguably unnormal. That would be her mental capacity to putting information, and by the fact that she looks a little bit underfed and malnutritioned, the doctor said. That would be perfectly okay. We'll just put some more food or meat on her bones, Mirko said, as she bowed her head to thank the doctor. As they both walked out, as Izuku took her to go have something to eat before Urza's parents came to pick her up, as Urza was attached to Izuku's side throughout that ordeal, never letting go. As Izuku had flashbacks throughout that entire interaction with Urza, feeling emotionally attached like what he did with Eri when she first said Big Brother to him for the first time. Izuku's heart melted when Eri said that, but this is something that needed his full attention, not Eri currently. Izuku needed to make sure Urza was okay, mentally, and when her parents came to pick her up, Izuku needed to make sure her body language when her parents arrived was what he thought it was, and not what he actually wanted it to be. So Urza, Mirko said, how was your day so far? Trying to make meaningful conversation, Urza said. Well, yeah, but it's better off me trying to do this with you and not the other way around. Because if we end up trying to not chat with you, you end up probably going mental, Mirko said, maniacally laughing. As this made, Urza slightly put a giggle out, as this made Izuku very happy, knowing that she wasn't the type of depressed or mentally unstable as what Eri first was. Well, Izuku thought comparing to her was similarities, but she only had this for a year, and not a whole life, Izuku thought. Damn, he was so wrong. As an hour passed after a meaningful conversation, Izuku figured out that Urza's home life was not the most peaches as what you would think, but it was good enough, she thought. Her parents never hit her, she never was abused, but there was an odd tension in between them both. Urza never could remember, because it's been a year since she met them, but she couldn't remember. As Urza's parents finally arrived into the restaurant, as Izuku spotted them from a mile away, physically speaking, of course, as they both walked over to the table, as her father gripped Urza's shoulder very tight, like to the point she was about to hurt her. As Urza's eyes slightly changed to the point of, fear. Urza, honey, it's time to go, her mother said. But I want to stay just a little bit longer with Mr. DEKU, she said, as her father tightened his grip even more, leaving her winced in pain slightly, as Izuku couldn't hold it any anymore, grabbed the father's hand and tossed it off of him. What do you think you're doing? He said. This has nothing to do with you, the man said. It is now. You're under arrest for this bit of child abuse, Izuku said. Deku, what do you think you're doing? Mirko said. Did you not see Urza's eyes? Did you not look at her left shoulder? Deku said, as Mirko lifted up Urza's left shoulder, her clothes of course, to see a red-tinted mark where it's just started to draw blood, as Mirko detained her father and her mother that night, leaving Urza, an orphan now. Izuku, when the parents both got arrested, didn't want to just leave her on her own. So, he made his mind up. Then and there, he would find a perfect place for Urza to stay and be raised in, like what Eri did. He never wanted to leave a child behind, like what he did with Eri the first time. He'll save her the first time, and that would be it. Never a second time. He'll make sure the first time works, never the second time. As Urza's father broke the window with his head and shouted, Do you really think the prison will stop me? I have friends in high places. They'll let me out in less than a couple of hours, he said. And if you dare ever lay a hand on my daughter, I'll kill you. She's my property, not yours. You hear me, you fucking worthless broccoli? He said, shouting. As ERAZ flinched at his words, as the only thing Izuku could do at that point was just hug her close to him, as ERAZ felt comfort inside of Izuku's embrace, as she just accepted it. As Izuku and ERAZ both went to the nearest building Izuku could do and sat her down in a nearby cafe so she could just vent and calm down before they carried on back home. So, Mr. Deku, where am I gonna stay? She said. You're not going into an orphanage, Izuku said. But, if I don't go somewhere, you probably have to take care of me, and I don't want to burden you, she said, leaving a tear down her eye. Don't worry, you won't have to burden me with anything. I'll make sure you have a smile on your face, okay? As Izuku stared at her with a smile on his face. You sure, Mr. Deku? I don't want to burden you, she said as she started to whimper and cry a lot more. Don't worry, okay? I'll make sure you're safe and calm, alright? I'll make sure nothing happens to you. And I'll make sure those bastards don't get anywhere near you ever again. You'll do that for me? She said. If we can't find you a permanent home, you can stay with me and I can be your big brother, Izuku said, smiling at her. You really would? As she hugged him tighter than what she's ever hugged anyone in her life. As Izuku took her home, as the dorm rooms, well, they were surprised at the least, but because they're third years, they didn't really question why Izuku brung a girl home. As Izuku went up to his room and laid a futon on the floor. Mr. Deku, you don't have to do that. Don't worry, I'm sleeping on the floor. You can take the bed, okay? It's recently cleaned bed sheets. It should be fine. As she smiled, brighter than what she's ever had. I just realized halfway through this recording I didn't really explain, and I made it sound very bad the way Izuku brought her home. I didn't really explain that, but just note that it's going to be explained tomorrow. As Izuku laid on the futon, as well, ERAZ took the bed. As the next morning arose, Izuku went downstairs and made something quickly for her to eat. As ERAZ quickly came downstairs, realizing she was all alone when she woke up, she came down to see that Izuku was chilling with the rest of his classmates. As ERAZ went behind him, as got her breakfast, which was laid out on the table next to a note. As Izuku, well, not Izuku per se, as Bakugo looked behind him and saw a random woman in his class. As Bakugo got on the offensive. Who are you? Bakugo said. Mr. Deku, help, she said, as Izuku got in front of him. Bakugo, calm down. This is ERAZ, a little girl that I saved from, well, abusive parents that abandoned her and left her for dead. Izuku said, you shouldn't bring her home like this. If the police have already figured out a way, but we're trying to find her a permanent home. If a family decides to get her back, they have to get through me and not the legal system, Izuku said. But, Midoriya, this seems a little bit. A hero is meant to save anyone no matter the cost, and I'm costing myself something. I will cost my own hero license if I have to. I will become a vigilante if need be. I want to make sure she's safe before I leave her alone, Izuku said. As ERAZ got behind Izuku and hugged him tightly. Thank you, Oni-chan, she said, smiling. As the day passed, as Izuku heard a door randomly bash open. Oni-chan, a little white-haired girl said, as she rushed over to Izuku and hugged him tightly, knocking Izuku off the ground. Oh, hi, Eri, how you doing? I'm fine, big brother. How's your day been? And I heard that you adopted somebody? ERAZ said, with an innocent tone. Yeah, I'd like to introduce you to ERAZ, as Izuku put his arm out. You must be Oni-san, ERAZ said, as she hugged her even tighter, as ERAZ's eyes brightened, knowing that she would be comfortable where she was for the rest of her day. As the day passed, Izuku and ERAZ both went to Nezu's office, as they both got a letter to state that while she was in the UA campus, she could attend school like normal, but while she was doing her training for her quirk, she'll be monitored and trained by under Izuku. Thank you all for watching this video. If you guys would like to see more videos like this in the future, get to 60 likes in 24 hours, and you guys will get the next part out as soon as possible. I thank you all for watching this video, and make sure to click the top right of your guys' screen, because that will be the next video you guys will be seeing. And also join our membership. It's only about $2 to $3, and you guys can actually get decent perks by seeing this video that you're watching right now early. Thank you all. Have a good day.